Hey, this is day 2 of the 5-day summer blast. Welcome aboard. And we're going to start with a little exercise, something that will wake us up and bring us more energy by rolling. And we're going to roll onto our backs and see if we can roll into a stand, which is a simple exercise, but I don't think I can do it. So rolling back and then rolling up. I have to put my foot under me in order to come up. Let's see that again. I'm going to squat just to stretch my inner thighs. And Barbara to do.
That's amazing.
Oh my God, that's easy for you?
Kinda. It's really in the momentum of the roll.
Momentum. Okay, I'm going to try with momentum now.
Yeah.
No, I can't get over it. But I can put one leg down and do it this way. Put the other leg down. This is what we've been doing in the class.
The weight will actually help you. The weight will help you.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The weight would help me too. Let me take off some of this. But let's keep playing with that. Amy, how about you? And you have a green line going through your lip. There you go.
I'm nowhere close.
You're nowhere close. You want to try with a weight or just use like we've been playing with one leg. What is that green line through your, is that a leg of a bed or something? There, what's that? There you go.
The jumper cable.
Jumper cable.
What are they called?
And now it's gone, so that's good. I'm going to switch view here so I can see all of this. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, the weight does help.
Yeah.
Oh, I did it.
Oh, yay.
Oh. Amy, try that with a heavy weight. What weight do you have?
I have all sorts of pounds. Are you guys putting the weight behind your head when you do that?
The piece fell out. What did you say?
I'm kind of holding it like this.
You're holding it like that, and then do you put it behind your head?
No, you put it out front to pull you forward.
Okay.
Either forward or up. So I put it when I come down, and then over the head. It's kind of like, what is that? Skull crusher.
Yeah, I mean, you have to bring it forward to really carry your weight. Is that an 8-pound weight? See, better. That's better.
Yeah. Forward.
Ooh, you got it. You got it. Whoa, she did it! Yay! Yay! That's fabulous. Let's try once more. Ah. And you don't have any shoes on. I'm going to keep my shoes on because I'm going to walk around in a little bit. But this is so exciting. That's a problem. I keep my earpiece in so I can talk to you. There we go. I did it. I'm so excited. Okay. And so we are going to shift gears to the microbiome. And I thought I'd read a little bit and share with you from my book, The 10 Best Ways to Supercharge Your Health. Do you have a copy of my book, Barbara?
No.
No.
No, I don't. I need one.
Okay, so you won't be bored. You won't be bored if I show you my book and we can look at it. This is what it looks like.
Awesome, yeah.
And then we're going to go to page 85 and talk about one of the 10 best ways to supercharge your health, and that is to enhance your microbiome. So let's look at that. I'm going to share the screen and we can read it together. Okay, it's called Your Immunity. Okay, so I draw from different things and put them in the book, and you see that I've drawn from the Harvard Health newsletter about the microbiome. It says each person has an entirely unique network of microbiota that is originally determined by one's DNA. But that's questionable. But anyway, a person is first exposed to microorganisms as an infant during delivery in the birth canal and through the mother's breast milk. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly which microorganisms the infant is exposed to depends solely on the species found in the mother. Pretty much so. Later on, environmental exposures and diet can change one's microbiome to be either beneficial to health or place one at greater risk for disease. So if you eat a lot of sugar, we talked about how that feeds the bacteria that live off of sugar and can create problems as you keep up that diet. The microbiome consists of trillions of microorganisms, also called microbiota or microbes, of thousands of different species, of thousands. And on the market, maybe you can get 40 different species. So that's about what we're up to. And there are thousands of different species. Most are symbiotic, where both the human body and the microbiota benefit, and some in smaller numbers are pathogenic, promoting disease. In a healthy body, pathogenic and symbiotic microbiota coexist without problems. But if there's a disturbance in that balance brought on by infectious illnesses, certain diets, or the prolonged use of antibiotics or other bacteria-destroying medications, dysbiosis occurs, stopping these normal interactions. As a result, the body may become more susceptible to disease. The body is continually generating immune cells. Certainly, it produces many more lymphocytes than it can possibly use. The extra cells remove themselves through a natural process of cell death called apoptosis. Have you ever heard that word?
Yes.
Yeah, apoptosis, this word, which means cell death, some before they see any action and some after the battle is won. So that's a natural process of cell death. No one knows how many cells or what the best mix of cells the immune system needs to function at its optimum level. But there are a lot of scientists that are working on that. There appears to be a connection between nutrition and immunity in the elderly. A form of malnutrition that is surprisingly common, even in affluent countries, is known as micronutrient malnutrition. Micronutrient malnutrition, in which a person is deficient in some essential vitamins and trace minerals that are obtained from or supplemented by diet, can happen in the elderly. Older people tend to eat less and often have less variety in their diets. One important question is whether dietary supplements may help older people maintain a healthier immune system. Older people should discuss this question with their doctor or with their nutritionist or their dietitian or somebody who knows really what they're saying and what they're doing. There's not a lot of doctors who know about nutrition and who know about the microbiome and have studied it. Here's a doctor, a gastroenterologist of great renown called Dr. Emmerin Mayer, author of The Mind-Gut Connection, How the Hidden Conversation Within Our Bodies Impacts Our Mood, Our Choices, and Our Overall Health. How's that for a title? With a healthy diet of low fat, complex carbohydrates, low sugars, high fiber, increased gut microbiome diversity, and increased Prevotella, which is a beneficial bacteria, the mucus lining thickens and the gut barrier remains intact. And that is the definition of a healthy immune system, that you don't have these permeable membranes there. You have a thick lining, and so you don't have any crossing over there, what they call a leaky gut. If you are eating a standard American diet, you lose beneficial bacteria, microbiome diversity, and a thick mucus lining. So your gut barrier becomes permeable, allowing immune sensors of the dendritic cells to come in direct contact with the membrane of certain microbes, particularly gram-negative cells with lipopolysaccharides in these membranes. That leads to an activation of the immune system with a decrease in the integrity of gap junctions, making up the epithelial barrier. So microbes enter the immune system, causing a variety of common chronic diseases from what is called metabolic endotoxemia. So this metabolic endotoxemia is not only due to gut permeability, stress, and the standard American diet, but also due to a mismatch, which is very interesting, between our gut and the microbiota living there. The gut is slower to make changes to catch up to the faster evolutionary changes of our microbiota. This is a really interesting statement. Our gut takes 10 to 15,000 years to catch up to the quick adaptations of the 2 million genes in our microbiota, which changes in days. All the chronic diseases that we are grappling with in this time during the COVID-19 pandemic, colon cancer, brain diseases like Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, depression, and autism may be a result of this mismatch between the gut and the microbiota's timeline for adaptation and mutation. Dr. Mayer is a gastroenterologist, lecturer, author, editor, neuroscientist, documentary filmmaker, and a professor in the departments of medicine, physiology, and psychiatry at the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA. He is a pioneer of medical research into brain-gut interactions. So, you guys have anything to say about that? I mean, to think that there's a mismatch between our gut and the microbiota living there of like 15,000 years, that's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It reminds me, have you seen Hack Your Health on Netflix?
You know, I never saw that. I'm going to write that down, Hack Your Health. Have you seen that?
They've illustrated, it's like everything that you're saying here, but like they make it like a visual of it with these really cute little like microbiome characters and like the lining of the stomach and what happens when sugars enter the body, or what these little things are doing in our body. So it's such a cool visual to really like grasp what's going on.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really good.
We're going to skip a paragraph there and look. Humans have about 20,000 genes, but the microbial genes run from 2 to 20 million. So that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at our genes, maybe 20,000 genes that we have, but what's living inside us has between 2 and 20 million.
And that has nothing to do with genetic, or is that more just
what it influences is that we're hosting in a symbiotic relationship these microbiota living in us. So the genes are supporting the human life, and the microbiota is supporting its own life but the
Right.
two are coexisting and mutually coexisting. So the
Mhm.
microbiota are what break down the last 2% of our digestion so that we're able to absorb the nutrients.
Wow.
So without those microbiota, your food can pass all the way through your tract and then out without being broken down the last
Oh,
2%. Yeah. So it says textbooks are written about therapies based on only 1% of the pool of microbial genes. We don't even know the functions of 99% of these genes. The microbes and their genes are able to produce a number of signaling molecules and metabolites in the form in hundreds of thousands. Just have to say that the fan rotating over your head can be hard to look at when you're reading that. So thank you. The microbes and their genes are able to produce a number of signaling molecules and metabolites in the hundreds of thousands generated from bile acids, sex hormones, and foods that we eat. These metabolites affect systems within the body, including the brain, and influence the immune system in the gut and other places in the body where the immune cells are located. So it's just fascinating. And I know there's lots of information out there. I know that there are transplants of fecal matter for people who are really ill. I don't know if
Mhm.
you've read that
Yeah,
or
they talk
studied
about
that.
that a lot in the movie.
Oh, they do?
Uh-huh.
They had even an interview with a woman who had changed her life when she changed her fecal matter. So
Mhm. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
yeah, yeah. Well, it was done under medical surgical situation, so they knew
Mhm.
what they were doing.
Yeah, these people in the movie are just doing it at home.
He
Oh.
also mentions that I'm going to start. The microbes stimulate the chromaffin cells in our gut lining, the main warehouse, to synthesize serotonin, which can be released in the gut lumen on the basolateral side on synapse-like structures. Through interaction with the vagus nerve, the serotonin signals directly into emotion regulation and homeostatic centers in the brain. In other words, your feelings, your gut instincts really come from your gut. And so there's this feedback from the vagus nerve, which is the traveling nerve, the longest nerve in the body. And that goes down, all the fibers go down, the nerve fibers go down around a lot of organs and down into your intestines. And you can, if you take a moment to try to feel what your intestines are telling you. My intestines very happy right now. I feel good in my belly. That's a nice thing. And I feel like this vagus nerve is helping with that regulation emotionally and helps your brain with homeostasis, regulates the reuptake of the serotonin. But he says it's unknown what this behavior regulates, but you can feel it. What was your experience, Barbara?
With my intestines?
Yes.
Well, I just ate for the first time today. So they feel good. There's like I feel like there's a little bit of like holding, like I don't know, there's like a little bit of like just ate kind of like a little cramp. But I don't know if that's my stomach or if that's my intestines.
Where is your stomach? And where is your intestines? Where are your intestines?
Like kind of all over.
Yeah.
It's kind of like in between, like I think it's my stomach that's cramping a little bit. But My intestines feel good. They just feel, they don't really feel relaxed. They
Okay.
feel like a little bit of like a holding tightness.
Let's stop the share so I can see everybody. Amy, what about you? Are your intestines talking to you?
Having guilt that my shorts are too tight, so that's not good. And my rib, I know my ribs aren't where my intestines are, but they're kind of achy. My ribs are.
Oh. Why don't we take a little bit of time just to feel, put your hands on your guts where you feel like you need it the most. And talk to yourself through your fingers, through your gut. Let your gut give you messages. You can lie down if you want to, or you can sit up, or you can be on a couch. And we use these ideas in body mind centering all the time, that we can go from the organ or from the cells or from the body to the brain. We don't always have to go from the brain to the body. Best if we can do it without judgment. And then feel free if you want to add some movement. Either you move your bowels, you move your intestines, or you can feel your intestines reaching out to your arms. Or you can feel your intestines reaching out through your legs. You know, I have to think about this experience I had in the ER with kidney pain. And the doctor was saying, they wanted to give me this big painkiller. And I said, no. I said, I don't know if you give me a painkiller, I won't know if I'm better. If I won't know if my kidney feels better. So it seemed very odd to him. I could tell that he didn't realize that you could isolate. I mean, I'm sure he does, that you could isolate where the pain is coming from. And the same idea here is that you can isolate your intestinal tract, and you know when you have gas or when you have pain there. And it feeds up to you, tells you, ouch, or tells you, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that, or tells you whatever the pain signals are. They go from your gut to your brain. So there you have a real life example of that line of communication. And then I like to go up on the right side and cross and down on the left side, which is the direction of flow through the intestines. And that just helps the movement to trace that and massage your intestines. And I think you have something like 26 feet of intestinal tract, maybe 30. Do you have any feelings or sensations, or are you having conversation with your belly that you could share?
I'm noticing like a sensitivity on just the left side.
Okay.
Just trying to be there with it, with my hands and seeing what it
Okay.
is.
You feel it on the left side?
Yeah, yeah, I can't tell if it's like more like muscular or if it's actually within my organs. So I'm just kind of trying to tap in, locate.
I would continue to massage that left side and go down. And you can always roll onto your right side. And when you're on your right side, it helps to empty the left side. Then when you're doing, we're going to talk about coffee enemas now. Take a minute to feel that. If you lie on one side, what happens? And then just try the other side. If you're doing a coffee enema, you're going to start out. If you're doing a coffee enema, you're going to start out a retention enema lying on your left side so that the water goes into the right side. You lie on your left side for 5 minutes, and then you roll into your back, and you can help it move, massaging it, move the water around. And then you roll, that's for 5 minutes, then you roll into your right side, like we were just doing. And this is for the exit massaging. Now, chances are you won't be able to hold it for 15 minutes when you're first doing it. And want to drink a lot of water no matter what. But I'm going to take you into the kitchen. I'm going to show you the process of making the coffee enemas. So you can make it, there are lots of ways to make it. And what I have is something simple, just a small coffee pot like so. And I have organic coffee made by Bulletproof, which also has vitamins, lion's mane, and coffee berry, which I'm not sure what coffee berry is. And this is a medium dark roast. Now, it's better not to get too dark a roast because it kind of takes out some of the nutrients. So this is the one I use. I think you can probably play around with which ones you like. But the light roast or medium roast are supposedly good. And organic, of course. I wrote my name on it so nobody takes it from my refrigerator. You can open it up. I don't drink coffee, but I do like the smell. Reminds me of my childhood because my parents drank coffee. And the liver specialist said to me that they don't know why coffee is so beneficial, but it's really beneficial. So you're going to take a tablespoon. You take 1 tablespoon go this way, like so. 1 tablespoon or less. I'm not going to make it very mild, because you do get some of that caffeine, and that's part of what causes the gallbladder to contract, so that you're expelling bile, which helps clean the liver. I'm going to bring some water. Well, about 8 cups. This is such a tiny one, so I'll see how many cups I can actually get. I have a purifier attached to my sink. And this gives me got a lot of markings in milliliters. This is 1 cup at the top. Better to have a bigger coffee maker. And then if not, you can use this little one, and then you can just add liquid.
How much water did you use?
Well, I think it's good to use up to 8 cups. That means you have to have a bigger coffee maker. So you can tell it's going to be very mild, your coffee. Not drinkable, unless you like really mild coffee. There you go. So in the meantime, I will show you the bucket. We'll come back to that. Here's my bucket. The small bucket I got online. The stainless steel bucket, so you can clean it thoroughly. And I like that. You could also use one of the rubber bags, but you can't really clean the inside as well. Just put soapy water in it. But here you can really wash it out. You can see the color. The only problem with the steel is you can't see how much you've used. And so you have to kind of guess. So you put it up higher if you have a stool or a platform or something you can rest this on. You would have that about 4 feet above you. And so you'd be below it, like here. And you'd lie on your left side. So to get some pillows, make yourself comfortable. Here's your nozzle. And it's helpful if you have a lubricant that's not petroleum. If you have some kind of salve, or you can even use olive oil to make it softer or to make it slide more easily. And then you're going to lie on your left side. So let's see if we can get this. And put some pillows under your head. When you do it a lot, you get to take this time to read or listen to your computer or watch Instagram, whatever, or meditate. And then you would bring this into the back and insert that and you have clips. You have 2 clips, in fact, on this one. This is your release valve for total release. If the water wants to rush in, you have to open it up so that the water could come down. But this is your clamp. And here's the release. You pull it up. And then the flow comes out. And you let it come into your body until it feels really, if it feels like it's too much, then you clamp it down. And sometimes the discomfort goes away. You can massage a little bit, and you can add more if you want to. In the beginning, you probably won't want to do that. So you'll just lie there and breathe. And if you can, massage it. So it's going to be coming in. So you lie there for 5 minutes. And then you roll it to your back. You lie there for another 5 minutes. And you roll into your other side. And in the beginning, generally you can't hold it that long. So you'll get up, you'll evacuate, and then you'll come back and you'll do another dosage. So it's actually 2 times that you go for it.
So Sarah, why do you do a coffee enema? What's the purpose?
It's a detoxification of your liver.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
Your
you
liver.
explain?
Can I explain what?
You said like it's the caffeine that causes the gallbladder to release bile. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
So the caffeine makes, okay, I get that. Makes so then
Stimulant,
it
yeah.
releases bile into your intestines, or
The bile goes through the bile duct
uh-huh.
into the duodenum.
Duodenum, yeah.
Yeah.
And then gets flushed out through the
And
coffee.
eventually travels through. Yeah. Well, it doesn't happen all at once in that sequence. It may be a while before your gallbladder releases that. It may be a while before your duodenum has accepted the gallbladder's contents.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's not necessarily a 1, 2, 3 effect. You put it in and bingo, gallbladder contracts. Depends on your system. My experience is that as I did more and more of them, you know, that my body was more accustomed to that release process. And I don't know for sure. It's more speculation. And my liver specialist said nobody really knows how coffee works. But it was Dr. Nicholas Gonzalez who has perfected the protocol for coffee enemas in treatment of cancer, who describes in detail the effects of the coffee. And I have his old audio tapes that I've saved over the years. It must be 40 years old, those tapes. I just saved them. I don't even have a tape recorder to play them, but if you could Google him, the Gonzalez protocol, he took his information. He worked with Dr. William Donald Kelly. Dr. Kelly was not the original doctor, but he used a lot of the techniques that have been used over time to detoxify and prepare people to keep them well. There were nurses in World War I and even in the Civil War, who would take people that were dying of gangrene and give them coffee enemas to help them survive, so their liver could get rid of the toxins better.
And it's the toxins that are in the bile that are just, if they're not leaving the body, they're just being circulated back into they just don't.
No, it's not the bile is from the gallbladder, and the gallbladder secretes the bile. It goes down through into the duodenum, and the intestines then take out the fecal matter from that, and it's combined and goes out. Doesn't get recirculated. It comes out. The liver contribute to that process.
Uh-huh.
The liver has all kinds of enzymes that helps that process.
Mm. Interesting.
Let me see if I can find out more specifically.
That's the whole thing with the bean protocol, is what they're aiming to do with the soluble fiber. Is the soluble fiber is soluble, so it soaks up that bile, and then helps easily. It's like easier to escort it out of the body, but it's just so much more of a like less quick way of doing it. Like the
Barbara,
coffee.
when you mentioned yesterday about soaking your chickpeas and trying to maybe take the shell off, why do you take the shell off? I would think that'd give us more fiber.
Yeah, I don't know. I've heard before that it makes them harder to digest,
Yeah, I figured that was going to be the
but I
answer.
don't really drive myself crazy over it. I'll just
Yeah.
if I
And
have
then,
the sit and do it, but not all
yeah.
of them usually.
And
And
yesterday when we touched on the 16-hour fast, and you said you had heard some things contrary, what did you hear that maybe it's not that great?
well, just I mean, talking about building muscle, and like I've just heard that you need to fuel your muscles with energy or protein right after, or like there's a window. First of all, having protein in your body before the workout helps to reach higher intensities, is what, and I'm not saying that this is
Yeah,
like
that makes sense.
right, but like it gives you that boost to go harder than your body would be able to hit without
Right.
it.
Right.
And then that window afterwards is so that you don't lose the muscle. Because after a hard workout, your body's just looking for energy. And I'm not saying it so eloquently, but yeah, and I can send you both it was in a Huberman podcast that I listened to
Yeah, I'd
recently.
love to get that. I'd love
Sure,
to
send
listen.
that to both of us.
Yeah, I will.
And
I
one
earlier.
One
But
thing,
go ahead.
you go ahead, Barbara.
Yeah, so the protein because the first thing that you lose after, if you don't, the first thing that your body will go to for energy is muscle mass.
Right.
Oh
and
yeah.
I think that, in order to keep muscle mass on, you need to like eat or like have protein.
Sure. One thing that I do, I know Sarah like stops eating by 8 p.m. and doesn't eat again till noon.
Mm-hmm.
What I try to do is I try to stop eating earlier in the day, maybe 2 or 3, so then I can eat first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
And because I have trouble, the later it gets in the day to kind of stop my eating, like, so that works better for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's better that way too. I mean, I've heard it's better to eat carbs in the morning rather than later. I think it's better to skip dinner rather than breakfast for that energy. So that you have that energy during the day and so that you can hit those intensities to build.
I just sent you an article I'm about to look at with you together so we can come together with some of our thoughts. This is not somebody I know, but I just found something here. I'd rather send you something from Gonzalez, but this is what what came up, so I'm going to use it. Can coffee enemas really help you detox? Look at the surprising benefits. So you see what exactly is coffee enema? You know what a coffee enema is. And here is a list of the health promoting compounds. You have cafestol, caweol, tocopherols, nicotinic acid, and heterocyclic compounds. It's better absorbed directly through the intestines rather than when you drink coffee and it passes through the stomach before getting to the intestines. This change in delivery can produce some pretty impressive results. So here it says, while more research is needed to determine all the benefits of coffee enemas, some of the most recent notable health boosting benefits include boosting levels of antioxidants, particularly the powerhouse antioxidant glutathione, reducing inflammation, fighting cancer and neoplasia by preventing the growth of abnormal tissue that can eventually lead to cancer, relieving constipation by emptying the bowel, improving digestion, and promoting a healthier digestive tract. But one of the most notable uses and benefits of coffee enemas is their ability to positively affect your natural detoxification system. So how it can help you detox? It's getting rid of potentially harmful compounds. Coffee enemas are used as a potent way to enhance your natural detox in 3 ways. They support the emptying of the colon, which you see the large intestines are responsible for storing and eliminating toxins and waste that your body needs to excrete. So it's essential for the proper removal of toxins. They help to remove, in addition, the bowel movements help remove the old tissue lining your intestines to make room for new healthy cells. This is important because the lining of your gut plays an important role in regulating your immune system and preventing leaky gut syndrome, a condition that can clog your detox pathways and overlook your immune system. And during a coffee enema, your lower intestines are distended and the caffeine is absorbed through the blood vessels in the walls of your intestines. The combination of caffeine and the distension of your bowel triggers the smooth muscles in your intestines to contract, causing you to have to go. The second reason is that the coffee enemas increase antioxidants. A buildup of toxins in the body can cause an increase in free radicals, which are unstable atoms that cause damage to your cells, known as oxidative stress. Your body relies on antioxidants to neutralize these free radicals and stop them from exerting their damaging effects. Thanks to the compounds cafestol and kawiol found in coffee. It's fun to say, kawiol. Coffee enemas have found to increase levels of the powerful antioxidant glutathione. 3,4 glutathione is known as the mother of antioxidants due to its potent ability to enhance detoxification and combat oxidative damage. I'm sorry, those are footnotes, what those are in those numbers. My friend, Dr. Petra at the Swiss Mountain Clinic had said that coffee enemas increase glutathione production by 600%. And you know, that is our most important antioxidant. So here it's coffee enemas promote the release of bile. I think that's the third reason. Your liver is one of your primary detoxification organs, constantly filtering your blood and removing any harmful compounds. Once the liver filters out waste that are filtered out, are filtered out by the liver, the waste collects in the gallbladder and are stored in the bile, which eventually flows into the digestive tract to be excreted with fecal matter. So I guess getting the bile out of the gallbladder is key, and that goes into the duodenum. Coffee enemas are believed to dilate your blood vessels and stimulate the flow of bile. This increase in bile flow essentially speeds up your body's ability to detox and filter out unwanted waste and toxins. And so then it keeps going, and you can read this because I sent it to you. It's different for each individual. One of the risks could be tears in the intestinal wall if you did it too much or with too much water. And you could also lose some of your electrolytes. So you can make sure you get some electrolytes in your foods and in your fluids. You can actually add electrolytes, which I do. So it goes on and on. Talks about lie on your left side with your knees bent, insert the nozzle about 2 to 4 inches, and you use coconut oil. which I actually use, or another lubricant, and slowly allow the enema solution to flow into your body. Find a comfortable position after removing the nozzle and try to hold it for about 15 minutes. So she talks about activated charcoal, which to enhance the enemas detoxification power by binding any toxins released so they can be more easily excreted. So you can research it and find out for yourself. She has a coffee enema kit straight from Switzerland. And you can order here. Look and see what it's like. Get 15% off with Dr. Jill. $128. That's a little more than I want to spend. I think mine was, I don't know, not more than $30, if that much. So you can do your research, find out what you think is good for you. See if I could get this to close. Oops, I don't want that. And we'll go back into the kitchen. And I'll take this off of share. Do you have any questions?
I'm afraid to do that.
Well, that's why I kind of demonstrated, so you didn't have to be afraid.
Yeah, you made it look very easy. Well, I was like thinking that we'd have to deal with what came out like in the bucket. So I was kind of afraid with that.
Well, it
But
doesn't
when you
come out in
said
the bucket.
You just get up and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, you rise, you're lying in front of the toilet. And so there's
Yeah.
nothing goes back to the bucket.
So what about colonics? That's not the same because you're not releasing the bile from gallbladder?
Well, it depends on what's in the water in the colonic. You can get different things in the colonic, but it cleans it out, but doesn't, I don't know if not every colonic is going to have the coffee in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
Coffee is a magic ingredient.
coffee. Do you recommend getting colonics or would you just do?
Well, you're going to pay someone, what, $100, $150 to do something that you could do yourself at home on the convenience of your own bathroom?
Right.
I mean, you could do a colonic if you don't want to do it yourself,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's nice to have a colonic therapist massage your belly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually got one. I had just gotten my first one a couple months ago.
Oh,
My boyfriend wanted to get one, and because he has way more gut stomach concerns than I do,
uh-huh.
but I was like, I'll do it with you. And he's had them in the past, and it's been helpful. So I got one, and it was crazy.
It was crazy. How long did you have? How long did it last? Did
Told
it
me it
massage
was
it?
what colonic dreams were made of. She said that there's a lot that came out. But it was so nice afterwards to feel just like an empty vessel. Like I was like, oh, I know, I can see why people get really into this because my stomach was flat for like 2 weeks, just no bloating.
What are you thinking, Amy?
I'm kind of like Barbara. I'm kind of afraid too. Tell me, like, Sarah, I'm like you in that I don't like to drink coffee. I do like the smell, but what would be wouldn't it be easier just to drink coffee?
No, it doesn't go in the same way.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same effect. It isn't absorbed by the small intestine. It doesn't have the same effect to drink it. I tried to drink it because I think, oh yeah, that'll be much easier. I can't stand the taste of it.
Does it affect you? The caffeine affect you?
It does. It does affect you. That's why you want to make it mild. Oh, I put water on my computer.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's why you want to make it mild solution. And it does, like, really keep in mind that I did it for a long time. And when I had to stop, when there were times I had to stop, I stopped when I got pregnant. Got a headache because I had stopped the caffeine.
We
So-
just recently got off caffeine. We've been off of it for 2 months and we had those headaches.
Oh, you did? Did you
Uh-huh.
have them every day?
The headaches or the coffee?
No, did you have headaches every day after you stopped?
Just for a couple days.
Yeah. Mine was just like 24 hours max.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pour the coffee here and then I'm going to see how much more I have to add. Just have to make sure that my valves are shut. I don't really know which one is shut on this yellow valve. I think that's open. Well, nothing much is happening here. Let's keep testing. Okay. So now it's flowing. The down is the open part. So now I'm going to close it. And I'm going to dump the water out. And I'm going to take my coffee. I'm going to pour it. Normally you just let it cool, but just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to pour the coffee here. And it's very hot. So that's 2 cups. Here's 4 cups. And I like to do 8 cups, but this won't hold it, so I'm not going to do that. But I used less coffee than I did the last time I did it. Okay. So I'm going to take it into the bathroom and I'll show you my setup. I can see there's water in the tube, but I'm going to clamp it anyway. And I don't know what's easier to do. Hang on a second. I'm going to go into the other room.
What are you doing now?
I'm showing something. Just be a few minutes. Okay, take you into the private areas here. Have a sink.
What a beautiful apartment.
Thank you. Let's see if I can turn this to speaker view. And then you can see. So here is my setup. There is a step. I don't know if you can see this step.
Mm-hmm.
See the step, and then when can you see where I have my bucket?
Mm-hmm.
And then I lie on my side and use coconut oil. Lie on my side and then go do the protocol. But I'd be putting a pillow right here under the toilet, lying down, bring a book, just relax for 5 minutes on the side, release the clamps, which I'm not going to do.
So you
And
just
then,
release it for that 5 minutes, or for just until it's emptied?
until I feel full inside.
Okay.
And that's not 5 minutes. It's maybe
Yeah.
one minute max.
Okay, yeah. I remember that feeling from my colonics.
Did you tell the person to slow down or stop when
Yes,
you got
I was
full?
like-
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, and then you have full control yourself. So you don't depend on someone to stop you or to have to stop. You're doing it yourself. You
And
have
then
full
you just
control.
massage yourself.
Yeah. You see how long you can hold it, and probably, you won't be up to more than 10 minutes in the beginning, even 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just jump on the toilet and you're all set. And then you lie down and do it again.
So you do it twice.
Yeah, you do try to go through 2 rounds.
What if there's an explosion?
Well, there sometimes is. But I was so confident when I did it recently. And there it was. Boom.
God.
Oh, it was a mess, but we survived.
Yeah.
All right, so great. So that's it for that part. Do we have any questions, or let's see. There are a lot of different ways to detox. Can you name a few? You've got saunas,
Yeah, infrared.
infrared, sweat
Sweating.
baths, yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
you can
just perspiration.
exercise, causing you to burn the energy and the sweat. In breathing, exhaling fully, that allows carbon dioxide to leave, right? Any of those methods. I don't happen to get to a sauna very often. I can do a cold bath and a cold shower. So that stimulates the burning of visceral fat. So you can get in a cold shower for 3 minutes. Do you do cold showers, Barbara?
I'm kind of testing. I've done done plenty of cold plunges, and I'm really not good with cold water. I don't know if I have cold trauma or like just an aversion to cold water, but I'm getting better. And usually I just do it on my feet at the end of the shower because I'm just slowly working my way into like doing the full towards the end of my shower. I'll do like the 3 minutes just on my feet and then slowly moving the rest of my body under the cold, but I have a hard time with it.
Yeah, I do too. But I was doing it for a while, and then when I got some kind of virus, and so I had to stop during that period, during that week. My body was weaker, and I can do it when I'm strong. I feel strong. I can do that. But if I'm feeling vulnerable, I don't want to get cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My acupuncturist told me not to do it because for women it can be too much, but I don't know. It's hard to know what to do and what.
Yeah, well, in Chinese medicine, they don't
Yeah.
use ice, so.
Yeah.
But you have to figure out what works for you.
Right, and what your goal is. So, yeah, I can understand the like just kind of feeling in and feeling if you have that like vitality to
Mm-hmm.
able to take
Mhm.
the cold.
Mm-hmm. Like I feel a lot of vitality watching Amy walking in the sun.
I know. She's so
With
good
her,
about moving.
yeah, with her hat, her brim and her hat. It's so great. And
Good
she could be way in the fields, the rice fields, or you just
Yeah.
don't even know what part of the world she's in.
Exactly.
Show us around where you are, your environment.
And this is my neighborhood. We have pin oaks. Can you see those trees?
Yeah.
So when we built our house 30 years ago, and when we planted our pin oak, it was thinner than my finger,
Oh my gosh.
trunk, and now it towers our house. This is not our house, but the pin oak is the same.
Can you show us a close up of the leaf?
Well, a regular pin oak leaf. The problem is sometimes there's oak mites. Ugh, they're terrible bugs, and they drop so many leaves. That's really cumbersome. My grandmother moved out of her place because, I mean, the leaves, they just pour down, and it gets so deep in our yard.
Oh,
In
wow.
the fall. That's the problem. And the oak
I
mites
see.
that bite you. You
Oh,
can't you can't see them.
oh,
And if the wind blows, like it blows them out of the tree, like kind of if you're near. Those
oh.
are only like every few years, but they leave little red kind of burning, itching spots. But they're beautiful. You talk about detoxifying. It detoxifies the air, right? Trees.
Yeah, that's a good one.
There you go. All right, guys. Well, I think we can finish today a little earlier, and it's been great to be with you. If you have any more questions or any more to say, we can take time now. And
I feel like I had questions, but I can't think of them now.
all right, you can write them down. You can send them. You were going to send us a link to.
I sent you a couple links, yeah.
Oh, you did. Okay, super.
Oh, I
Super.
was gonna ask you about like yesterday you said you have incorporated carbohydrates. You were on a ketogenic diet previously and it wasn't
Well, the
really
truth is, I'm not really using a lot of carbohydrate other than what's in food. That vegetables are carbohydrates.
okay, but you're not doing like you don't do grains or
No grains, no potatoes, no rice, no pasta.
And Sarah, no berries either, or do you do berries?
I don't do berries.
You do not. So you do no fruit.
I don't do
Is that-
fruit. I can't, you know, I can test it with like a little spoon and see. Now that I have this monitor on me, today my A1C, as I think I mentioned to you, or last night, my A1C went down to 5.6, which is very inspiring. It was
Yeah,
at
that's
5 when I
wonderful.
started 5.9, which is
What's the A1C? Is that your ketosis?
no, A1C is the 90-day average of your glucose in your bloodstream.
Oh,
And it's what medical professionals use to determine whether you're on the road to diabetes or if you're pre-diabetic. And those parameters are very generous, way too generous. So in my background training, anything that's over 5.7 is pre-diabetes. And I was at a 5.9 a couple of weeks ago. But in medicine, they don't claim that. They say until you get to 6.3, then you're at diabetes at 6.2, 6.3, but you're already across the line by 5.7.
and how do you find that number?
You can get a test. You can go to the drugstore and see if you can get the test for the A1C, but your doctor would do that test, and he should do that with every of your yearly checkups. You should have an A1C. Do you have a yearly checkup? Do you have blood reports from you?
Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm probably due for one.
Yeah, make sure you have your A1C. And there are also some other key blood tests that you should have. I have a list of blood tests that I recommend for people. And your thyroid would be one of them, with your free T3, your free T4, your TSH, and your antibodies. Those are important. And
Do you offer that as like a service to read blood panels?
I do.
Awesome.
It's part of my general intake. Yeah. So check out, see what your A1C is. See if you find it in any of your labs. Do you have your labs?
I have,
before?
yeah, I have one, yeah, from last year or maybe earlier in the year. Yeah, I'll check it out.
Yeah. See if your boyfriend has one too.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. And ask your mom what her A1C is.
Oh, yeah, she gets her blood tested all the time. It's funny because they're always like, she's always like, it's normal, everything's normal. My levels are always great. They're always great, but I'm like questioning because she drinks wine every single night and like eats carbs and I don't
Like
know.
I said, the doctors are very generous with what they understand and interpret, how they interpret those labs.
Yeah.
Way too generous. So people will say to me, oh, the doctor tells me everything's fine. I said, well, do you have a copy of your labs? No. What does it mean everything's fine? What's the number? I don't know.
Right. There's not much that they offer with that. Well, I love the food recommendations too. Like I think half of my problem is just getting ideas for it's like so limiting, you know, for what we can eat.
So,
So
I can we can do some recipes tomorrow. Would that be helpful?
yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
I'm curious to have you ever tested your glucose after eating lentils?
I love lentils, and since I read that they raise your blood sugar, I stopped eating them.
Okay.
I didn't
That's a big one.
specifically, yeah, I didn't specifically test for lentils, and I wouldn't test for it now because I'm on such a good track.
Right. Yeah. I understand.
I don't want to do anything to upset it.
Yeah.
So, but basically it's protein and vegetables all the time. And if I need to have something sweet, I can use something that has sweetener and has a sweeter taste because of the monk fruit that's in it. Erythritol is not good for you. So a lot of these things are sweetened with erythritol, but There's allulose, which is okay. Allulose is a sweetener. It's like syrup. It doesn't raise your blood sugar. Monk fruit does not raise your blood sugar. Do you want me to show you what those look like?
Yeah, I use monk fruit. I've never
Oh,
seen that.
okay. You haven't seen allulose? Yeah, I found out about allulose from Dr. Peter Attia. Do you know who he is?
Mm-mm.
And he has a wonderful podcast called The Drive. And you should check out Dr. Peter Attia and The Drive. It's amazing information. He has a great discussion about the apolipoproteins, which are key to your ability to deal with fats, cholesterol.
Oh, cool. And the organic. Wow.
Call it liquid sugar. Has no calories. And what else does it say? Allulose is a plant-based sugar, and per the FDA, is different from other sugars in that it is not metabolized by the human body in the same way as table sugar. It produces only a negligible increase in blood glucose or insulin levels.
I like that it's a syrup form. I haven't seen syrup form of monk fruit.
I think they have it actually, but I don't have it. The total carbs for a tablespoon are 10 carbs. But there's no sugar, there's no protein.
The
Wow.
other thing you can do that actually helps blood sugar, but it gives you a bit of a sweetness, is add cinnamon.
Oh yeah, cinnamon is good. Cinnamon is good, and I take berberine twice a day for
You
sugar
do?
cravings. Yeah, I take it before bed, and I take it in the morning when I wake up. Usually,
It helps with those sugar cravings.
yeah, it helps fight the sugar cravings, and cinnamon
And chromium actually helps with sugar cravings
and
and your blood.
chromium
Do you
and
eat
certain
eggs?
herbs. Do I eat eggs? That's a good question.
There's chromium in eggs.
Yes,
Or
I
is it
eat eggs. I used to eat a lot of eggs, but then when my cholesterol went up, I cut down my eggs.
There's
Cut down
choline in eggs.
choline? That's what it
Choline,
is.
choline.
Yeah, that's what it is.
choline in eggs.
What's
And
the
good
one that you
protein.
said was helps curb the sugar? Cadmium or
Chromium,
chromium?
chromium,
Cadmium.
chromium picolinate in the form of picolinate.
Berberine. I've heard that that's the natural Ozempic.
It's a
herbal-
natural metformin, yeah.
Yep. And I read something today that your body doesn't need more Ozempic, you know. It needs more berberine, right? Does that make sense?
I'm not sure what the implication on that one is. What does that mean?
The implication is that your body doesn't need something that's a pharmaceutical.
Oh,
Your body needs the thing that it's missing, like the berberine. It's not missing Ozempic. It's missing the root cause, like in functional medicine.
the berberine is in a way, it's a medicinal
Yes.
as well. It's not that it does the same thing, but it does it without having the side effects of a drug. Every drug has a side effect, yeah.
Yes, we're saying the same thing. I'm just not saying it very well.
That's fine. All right, guys. So tomorrow we'll go over some foods.
Exciting. Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Good to
I'm
be
very
with you.
inspired.
You're inspired?
Mhm.
What are you inspired about?
Just to eat better, and I don't know, I just needed this to really kind of kick in on my mindset of eating less and kind of fighting those cravings.
Do you have your glucose monitored? Do you have your Keto Mojo?
No, I was looking online. I was looking on like OfferUp. I found on Facebook Marketplace someone was selling like they had 120 brown strips for sale for like $10. And so I might go get those.
Okay.
But there's a bunch of them just like people that don't use them anymore but I don't know how many are like the new ones. I'll probably just order the
Yeah,
the
the new
little-
ones are $13 for 60 strips. So
Yeah, that's not bad.
no.
Yeah, I
not
think
bad.
you'd be better off ordering them new. I purchased them and they get old and then you have a strip problem like you put it in the machine and you go through the trouble of pricking your finger and putting the blood in there and it comes back strip problem. So then you have to put a new strip. So I would not buy from someone else because you don't know how they've stored them, how old they are. I would not do that.
Okay,
True.
great.
All right,
Okay,
guys.
All right, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Sending kisses, big hugs. Thank you so much for coming. It's great to see you.
Thank you for all
Take
the
care.
Nice
Bye-bye.
operating with a smile.
Yes, thank you.